Salisbury City Football Club was an English football club based in Salisbury, Wiltshire. They were formed in 1947 and played at the Raymond McEnhill Stadium. Salisbury had gained back-to-back promotions in recent years, first to the Conference South in the 2005-06 season by finishing top of the Southern League Premier Division, followed by winning the playoff final in the 2006-07 season to participate in the Conference Premier in 2007-08. They played the 2010-11 season in the Southern League Premier Division after being relegated from the Conference Premier at the end of the 2009-10 season, but managed to win promotion to the Conference South for the 2011-12 season in the first season following their relegation. The club spent 2 seasons in the Conference South before winning promotion to the Conference Premier via the playoffs in the 2012-13 season. In 2014, the club were removed from the Football Conference after failing to pay debts. The club has reformed as Salisbury F.C. for the 2015-16 season. History: the club was founded as Salisbury F.C. in 1947. A previous Salisbury City Football Club existed during the late 19th century, and played in the Southern League Second Division between 1906 and 1911, but the later club did not consider itself to be related. Salisbury immediately entered the Western League and won the Second Division title at the very first attempt. An attendance of 8,902, a figure never beaten, saw the championship decider, a 1-1 draw against Weymouth. Salisbury remained members of the Western League until 1968, winning the championship in 1957 58 and 1960 61, as well as finishing second on 4 occasions and reaching the FA Cup first round on 4 occasions and the second round once. In 1968 the club was elected to the Southern Football League but met with little success until the 1985-86 season when Salisbury finished as runners-up to Cambridge City and were promoted to the Premier Division, albeit only for a single season. In 1993 the club's name was officially changed to Salisbury City, and in 1994-95 they won the Southern League Southern Division Championship. After redevelopment work at the council-owned Victoria Park, the club was able to step up to the Premier Division, a promotion which had been denied them 2 years earlier due to ground gradings. Salisbury lasted 7 seasons in the Premier Division, but troubles off the field eventually led to the departure of manager Jeff Butler, who had been in the role for more than 17 seasons. Relegation followed and the club came close to being wound up before being saved by a consortium led by one of the club's sponsors, Neville Beale, who was also able to tempt former Southampton player Nick Holmes, at the time living in the USA, to take over as manager in 2002. In the 2003-04 season, Salisbury gained promotion from the Southern League Eastern Division by finishing 6th, but a reorganisation of the English Football League system saw them placed in the Isthmian League Premier Division, although after 1 season they were switched back to the Southern League Premier Division, which they won at the first attempt to gain a place in the Conference South. On May 13, 2007, they defeated Braintree Town 1-0 in the Conference South promotion playoff final, earning a promotion spot to the Conference Premier. As well as winning promotion, 2006-07 saw Salisbury embark on one of their most successful FA Cup runs, reaching the second round for only the second time in the club's history, where they were drawn against Nottingham Forest. In front of a record attendance at the Raymond McEnhill Stadium of 3,100, Salisbury held Forest to a 1-1 draw live on BBC One. The replay at the City Ground saw Forest progress into the third round with a 2-0 victory, which was broadcast live on Sky. Salisbury's first season in the Conference Premier saw them finish a credible 12th after a run of several wins in the second half of the season. This success continued into the 2008-09 season when they hit top spot in early September. However, this run soon came to an end when they suffered many injuries which saw their form slip. Then an appeal to raise £100,000 in 2 weeks was asked of the fans and the city, but only £33,000 was raised. This was insufficient to keep the club going with the squad they had, which led to cuts, In October 2008, many of Salisbury City's top players went on loan in order for the club to cut costs. In April 2009, the club was put up for sale for £1 in a bid to attract new investors to help the club survive. However, the future of the club remained unclear after it was announced that the club had been unable to find a buyer willing to assume the financial liabilities and debt. On September 3, 2009, Salisbury entered administration, clearing debts of £200,000. Administration equals. In the summer of 2009, Salisbury City Football Club faced bankruptcy, and in early September the club was formally placed in administration. Whilst still functioning as a football team, the Whites were fined and were punished further by the football authorities with the deduction of points. From September 2009, Salisbury City F.C. was being run by Carl Foltz and Michael Fortune, operating as agents and contracting for Portland Business and Financial Solutions. On May 19, 2010, the club was demoted 2 divisions to the Southern League Premier Division due to a breach of conference rules. The club admitted that, contrary to the conditions agreed in order to come out of administration, it had missed the deadline to pay back a creditor, but hoped to reach a CVA on June 12, 5 weeks after the deadline. An appeal was made, but on June 10, 2010 it was announced that with the appeal having failed, Salisbury City F.C. would compete in the Southern League Premier Division for the coming 2010-11 season, 2 divisions below Conference Premier level. A new board equals. A consortium of William Harrison Allen, Chris Bramall and Jeff Hooper took the club on and bailed them out of administration. What followed was a complete restructure, with manager Tommy Widrington going to Southend United as assistant manager in the summer of 2010. Long-serving Nick Holmes followed him out the door, which left Darrell Clarke and Mikey Harris in temporary charge of a depleted squad in the lead-up to the season. They managed to assemble a squad of youngsters over pre-season to go with the players that remained at the club. Striker Matt Tubbs also left that summer to join Crawley Town for a club record fee, thought to be around £70,000. 2010-11 season equals. Darrell Clarke was given the job permanently on August 4 and Mikey Harris was made his assistant in time for the new season. Despite having a new manager and many new faces, Salisbury had a good start to the 2010-11 season and were unbeaten at home in the league until they lost to title rivals Truro City 6-0 in February 2011. Salisbury progressed to the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup, eventually losing to Corby Town, and on January 15, 2011, they battled to a 1-0 victory over Wrexham in the 2nd round of the FA Trophy, a team who were 2 leagues above them. They then overcame Woking to a 0-0 away, a team who were a league above the Whites, to reach the quarter-final stage of the competition. They fell at this stage, losing to a 0-1 to Darlington at the Northern Echo Arena, after another good performance. However, injuries hampered the Salisbury side in the latter stages of the season, and many players were brought in on loan. The team were far less consistent than they had been at the start of the year, and the starting lineup was changed often because of the injuries to the squad, and many players seemed unfit when they did play. Truro overtook the Whites at the end of the season, meaning Salisbury had to settle for a playoff place. Salisbury played Cambridge City at home in the playoff semi-final and won 1-0. This resulted in a trip to Huddersfield for the playoff final, and after a gripping game that finished 2-2 after extra time due to a late equaliser from Bernard Elsbury, Salisbury won 3-2 on penalties, clinching promotion back to the Conference South. 2011-12 season equals. Many players signed new 1-year contracts at the start of the new season, as did manager Darrell Clarke and his assistant Mikey Harris. After a relatively poor pre-season, the Whites made a good start to the Conference South season. The Whites also enjoyed a good FA Cup run, beating Swindon's Supermarine, Poole Town and Bishop's Stortford on their way to the first round proper, where they beat Arlesey Town 3-1 to make the second round for only the 3rd time in their history. They were first out the hat and drawn at home against Grimsby Town in the next round. A crowd of 2,161 were at the Raymond McEnhill Stadium to witness the Whites hold Grimsby to a 0-0 draw, meaning they would replay at Blundell Park on December 13. In the replay, Salisbury earned a surprise 3-2 victory in extra time and competed in the third round proper of the FA Cup for the first time in the club's history. They lost the game 3-1 to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Salisbury also made good progress in the FA Trophy, a competition which they have had success in over the past few seasons. They disposed of fellow Conference South side Weston-super-Mare 2-0 at the Ray Mac before comfortably beating Lowestoft Town 4-1 at home. They exited the trophy suffering a 6-2 home defeat at the hands of Conference Premier outfit York City. While success in the Cups had been considerable, the Whites' league form suffered for it, with many inconsistent results matched with poor performances, seeing Salisbury slip down the table into a relegation battle, and in complete contrast to their good start. Despite this, the Whites did manage to secure a surprise 2-0 win at home to runaway league leaders Woking, thus signalling a turnaround in their fortunes. Salisbury's long ongoing financial problems were also bolstered during the season. Firstly, thanks to their long run in the FA Cup, which saw them pocket around £100,000. Also, the sale of former striker Matt Tubbs from Crawley Town to Bournemouth for a fee believed to be around £800,000, saw the Whites receive a fee of around 15% due to a sell-on clause. Despite some poor results at home in the second half of the season, the Whites' away form was strong. After securing their status in the division for the following season, the Whites ended the campaign very strongly with wins against Chelmsford City, Hampton and Richmond Borough, Sutton United and Eastbourne Borough. These strong results meant the Whites finished in 10th position, and coupled with the FA Cup run meant that it was a largely successful season for Salisbury. 2012 Euro 13 season Salisbury made a host of new signings in an effort to push for promotion. Goalkeeper Mark Scott rejoined on a permanent deal from Swindon Town, highly rated midfielder Chris McPhee joined from Torquay United, and striker Jamie White signed up, hitting the ground running, topping the top goal scorers list with 26 league goals. Salisbury City finished their Conference South campaign in second position, and so contested in the play-offs for a chance to win promotion to the Conference Premier. They faced Chelmsford City over a two-legged semi-final and defeated the Clarets 2-1 on aggregate, setting up a final tie against Dover Athletic. Salisbury won the match 3-2 against Dover after extra time. The home side were 1-0 up approaching the 90th minute when Dover equalised, but Salisbury gained a 3-1 extra time advantage, and although Dover reduced the deficit, Salisbury held out to win promotion to the Conference Premier for the 2013 Euro 14 season in front of 3,408 spectators. 2013 Euro 14 season During the close season, manager Darrell Clarke left the club to join Bristol Rovers as their new assistant manager. On July 4, 2013, Salisbury City announced that Mikey Harris had been appointed manager on a permanent basis and would become English football's youngest full-time manager at 28 years of age. Former Northern Ireland international Warren Feeney was later made Harry's Euro unregistered trademark's right-hand man after joining as a player assistant manager for the upcoming season. The first 3 games of the season were all losses, but after this, Salisbury went on an 8-game unbeaten streak, with 6 wins and 2 draws after the first 11 games of the season. On December 12, 2013, the club confirmed they had exited administration after 5 years of financial trouble. The club finished their 2013 Euro 14 campaign in a comfortable 12th position. However, the club were demoted to the Conference South on June 13, 2014 after missing a conference deadline to clear outstanding debts, and then expelled on July 4 despite minority owner Mark Winter offering £91,000 to safeguard the club's future. Seasons: this is 10 recent Salisbury City seasons. For a full history, see list of Salisbury City F.C. seasons. A Euro 1 point deducted for fielding an ineligible player. A Euro demoted 2 divisions down after entering administration. A Euro demoted from conference due to financial irregularities. Ground: in 1997 Salisbury City moved to a purpose-built stadium at Old Sarum, named after the then chairman. The Raymond McEnhill Stadium's capacity officially stands at 4,000, with covered accommodation for 2,247 fans. A then record crowd of 2,570 saw the FA Cup first round to a Euro-0 defeat by Hull City in 1998. This figure was beaten twice during the FA Cup run of 2006, a Euro-07, against Fleetwood Town in the first round proper and then against Nottingham Forest in the second round, with 3,100 attending the 1-1 draw. Salisbury City lost the replay. The record league attendance figure of 2,677 was set on December 28, 2009 when Salisbury City played Oxford United, drawing 1-1. A new record was set in the 2012 Euro-13 season when Salisbury reached a Conference South playoff final against Dover Athletic, the final being played on home turf. 3,408 attended the match which Salisbury won 3-2 after extra time. Former players: 1. Players that have played managed in the Football League or any foreign equivalent to this level. 2. Players with full international caps. 3. Players that hold a club record or have captained the club. Robbie Carroll, Brian Mundy, Denny Mundy, Cliff Myers, Tim Souter. Club honours: Football Conference, Conference South playoff winners, 2006 Euro-07, 2012 Euro-13. Southern Football League, champions, 2005 Euro-06, playoff winners, 2010 Euro-11, Southern Division champions, 1994 Euro-95. Western Football League, champions, 1957 Euro-58, 1960 Euro-61, Division 2 champions, 1947 Euro-48, Western League Cup winners, 1955 Euro-56, Alan Young Cup winners, 1959 Euro-60, 1960 Euro-61, 1962 Euro-63. Wiltshire Premier Shield, winners, 1956 Euro-57, 1959 Euro-60, 1960 Euro-61, 1961 Euro-62, 1966 Euro-67, 1967 Euro-68, 1970 Euro-71, 1977 Euro-78, 1978 Euro-79, 1995 Euro-96, 1998 Euro-99, 2000 Euro-01, 2002 Euro-03, 2007 Euro-08. 2008 Euro-09. Hampshire Senior Cup, winners, 1961 Euro 1962, 1963 Euro 1964. References. External links, official website, Salisbury Journal Sport, History of Club, BBC Wiltshire Euro News reports from BBC Wiltshire, Salisbury City F.C, former club, at the Football Club History Database, Salisbury F.C. At the Football Club History Database, Salisbury City F.C, present club, at the Football Club History Database.